It seemed as though the Ice Blazers had taken the world by storm and won the hearts of many. However, at this point, the question on everybody's mind was whether there would still be hunger for them to be competitive after having received so much glory before even reaching the Olympic stage.
Yes, I definitely went to the Olympics to win. I think any natural competitor, when you go to the biggest stage in the world, you're going to want to go there to win. That's just naturally what it is. You don't go to finish last. You don't go to finish second. You go there to be the champion. But out of respect for the process and out of the sport, you just do the best that you can, and sometimes that's okay. We get so caught up in quantifying what it means to be successful with awards or with accolades that many times we don't realize that you have to give yourself the little victories, and those little victories live in your ability to be your best, to be a better version of the one you were yesterday. And I think that in itself is far more greater than any lesson a gold medal can give you.
We're all athletes. We are competitive. We love to compete, and that's what we're gonna go there to do. I think we don't go into a competition saying we're just gonna jolly jolly. We don't do that. So we're going in. We've trained really hard, and we're ready to do our best. And hey, I think if the opportunity for gold shows up, we're ready to snatch it.
It's up to me! Yeah! Go Simba!
I don't want us to undermine what we can do at the Olympics. Because Nigerians like medals. But I want to reassure you that it is doable. I'll tell you why. In Whistler, when we went for the qualification, the last phase of qualification, there was a race run. We were the only country that completed the race. And if that was the Olympics, that was a gold medal. Even the US bumped it. We're the only, So situation like that can present itself. So it's not. Then, Simi, in her last two qualifications, she was on the podium in the North American circuit, which is, apart from the World Cup, that's the most important circuit in this sport. So if you can compete in the biggest league and you're on the podium, of course, I mean, with dint of hard work and luck, something can happen. I don't want to say we pray because Nigeria depends, but I think it's doable. So, I mean, let us not think that we are going to participate. We are also going to compete. And that is the spirit.
Yes.
We are going to participate. Yeah, to participate. That is the Olympic spirit, but if the opportunity comes, we will seize it as Nigerians.
As Nigerians, yes.
With such a star studded career and so many wonderful experiences, whoever would have thought that this would have been Shaun's all time highlight?
It definitely has to be the moment when we hoisted that Nigerian flag into the opening ceremonies. That moment right there is something that I don't think it's actually fully hit me. The fact that we walked in for the first time with the Nigerian flag and raised it loud and proud for everyone in the world to see, to celebrate, and to know whether you're Nigerian or not Nigerian, just how strong and how powerful you are as a people. I think that moment in itself, just knowing that people all over the world saw that flag just flying, and the people behind it with pure joy and pride and patriotism and really uplifting what it means to be a Nigerian. I don't think I can quantify the feeling in this world, seriously.
Although the Ice Blazers finished at a final position of 20th at the 2018 Winter Olympics, it cannot be disputed that they broke barriers and left their mark in the history books. After achieving so much in such a short period of time, one wonders what's next and if bobsled has a future in Nigeria.
I haven't been president of athletics for 8 years. I went through this, trying to convince Nigerians to come and run for the country. You find them running for the United States, you find them running for the Great Britain. You find one running for Sweden. What's her name? Izine or something. All over the globe, we find Nigerians running for them, even in South Africa. But trying to get them to run for this country has been a challenge. Sometimes their parents are the cause of the problem. So when we find 4 women who voluntarily
decided to. I mean, Chinwe had the opportunity of doing boss for the U.S. team, but she decided to come home. And I know the pressure I went through with her just to get this going. So I think they need another round of applause.
When we did track and field, it was really for ourselves. And, you know, we had joy in representing the country and things of that sort. But we never thought that this would get this big, to the point where we have emails and messages from young girls and parents saying, like, I thank you so much because our children have something to look up to, and they can now, you know, dream without being fearful or go after their dreams. In Nigerian culture, sometimes we're not so receptive to people doing different things. And so we wanted to open the door for that, for our youth to be able to aspire to be anything that they want to be. We're Nigerian. We can do anything. We're strong. We're prideful. We have like the spirit of, you know, something that's very strong. And so if we stick together and we believe, we can do anything.
There are gold medals within the Nigerian community. It just doesn't have Nigeria behind it. There are lots of them. It's not that Nigeria is not capable of getting it. We just have to be able to create a plan where people can believe that it's okay to invest in their country and invest their personal strengths into uplifting Nigeria and bringing home more golds, because we can certainly do it.
I think my roots are Nigerian. I mean, when I think about the pledge, you know, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest. I take that to heart. And for me, I came into this sport after 10 years of being retired. So it really took something special like this to get me out of bed, to compete at the world stage again. And for me, that was about Nigeria, the pride that I have to be Nigerian and being able to represent this great country. So it means a lot to me. My family, everybody, they're all rooting for me, and it's special when it's from home. So it's important to me.
Yes, I will have to say that same situation in my household. I was always considered an Igbo Nigerian girl first. So when it came to representing Nigeria, that was almost a no-brainer. It was the first culture that I've ever known. It's the first culture that I've loved. And so when I got the opportunity to represent Nigeria, I honestly latched onto it and held on tight.
This is not my first time representing Nigeria, and I told myself when I was competing as a track and field athlete that if I ever became a professional athlete, I wanted to represent Nigeria, because this is the country that gave birth to the parents that raised me to be the woman that I am today. And everything that I've known in my existence has been in America, and nothing that I've actually been able to actively contribute to what the beauty of my heritage has been given. And this is going to be my ode to the country, because this is what I know, this is what I understand, as they mentioned. And so being able to see the pride and joy in people as they were celebrating when I was watching the 2004 Olympics, I knew that that's what I wanted to help bring to the country. I wanted to be able to bring that same type of joy and happiness and continue a legacy that can bring positivity to Nigeria. So it's not that, granted, there is a lot more competition, but I mean, when I came out of NCAA, I was number 1 in NCAA. I was, number 6 in the U.S. in hurdles. When I was on the U.S. team, I was a World Cup brakeman. So it's not like, Nigerians, we are talented. It's not like we can't reach a platform where we can be the most competitive with the rest of the world. It's just that we need to create the levels and avenues to do that, but it has to start somewhere, and that's what I think personally I wanted to give to this country to help.
Let me tell you, Chinwe is African champions in the hurdles. African champions in the hurdles. Ngozi is African silver medalist in the 200 meters. I mean, not just she's come here for all African games and competed. Simi is 4 times All-America. You know what it means to be All-America? To be in the finals of the NCAA. I met Chinwe first in 2009 in the NCs. She was in the final of the hurdles. So that tells you she could be an American athlete. All of them. So it is not true that, look, there are so many Nigerians who run for the US up to now. There's many of them. From Great Britain, many Nigerians. But do they really want to come home? So anyone who comes home, we must, yes.
Being on the U.S. team was beautiful. It was one opportunity of a lifetime. It was one of the things that helped me understand what the sport was about. It taught me how to do things well. It gave me a sense of why this was going to be important to do for the country of Nigeria and inadvertently also for the continent of Africa. It was just while I was on the team that all these things started coming to me. The sport was trying to grow. They needed more women represented. Nigeria was looking for their Winter Olympic debut. Africa just never had a bobsled team. So I knew it just became much larger than myself. This was something that I was just being put in a position to where I could now help bridge that gap, given that I had a relationship with the Nigerian Olympic Committee from athletics and now with the Winter Olympic committees. So this was just an opportunity to allow God to use me on this earth to do his will. And I think that was what I prayed about. I prayed to just let go and let God have his way. And that was what happened. It just came to me that, you know, Sharon, it's about time to do something bigger than you. And recruited two amazing ladies to join the journey with me and eventually became something that the world could be proud of.
The team came to Nigeria, bought a wooden sled, which we have in the vehicle. If you want to have it, you can see it. And we went to schools, went to the Teslim Stadium to do exhibition, to get it introduced to kids. So we already have that. And we have plans to make 6 more sleds that we intend to take to different parts of the country so people can. Because you can really do the sport 70% outside ice. Then when it comes to the time of everybody in the world goes to those places. We have just like 11 race courses in the world.
But there are things that we have in place right now to help that execution, whether it's now bringing in coaches from Nigeria to go with us to the Olympic Games. We have athletes that are coming in that are already in the federation to compete next season as well. We have interested athletes coming in, and then we have a plan within Nigeria where we're going to draw in more homegrown athletes as well.
I'm a coach. We are going with the Olympics in this country. By March, we are going to go for driving school, and we are sending 2 coaches from here to understudy what is going on there, and they'll come back and pass the knowledge to other people so that they can, like I said, you train here, then you go to the ice, so they can train Nigeria and also go to the ice.
I mean, there's no surpassing all of this wonderful talk about patriotism, about resilience, about the fire, what it means and what it takes to be a Nigerian, and what it means for us to be able to stand here today saying that we are leaving this country with it on our backs, with the continent on our backs, taking it to Korea in order to represent us the way that we should be represented, the way people should know and believe that Nigeria is. We thank you guys so much. This is our dedication to what it means to give back to a country that has given us everything that we know as a culture, from our lovely parents to all of our support system. Everything that we know has been Nigerian. And what people don't understand is that, yes, we were born abroad. We didn't necessarily choose to be born abroad, but we were born there. And by being born there, they actually harp into us even more what it means to be Nigerian. How much more you need to be able to respect and honor and uplift your Nigerian heritage, to the fact that coming home is nothing that we have to think about. It's something that we do because that's what's in our hearts. And we're so grateful that you guys have seen that and you've accepted that. And we couldn't be more honored to represent you, this lovely country of Nigeria, for the first time in the 2018 Winter Olympic Games.
A dream, a vision, a passion for excellence. I think that's the best way to sum up Sheon Adegona and the Nigerian bobsled team. What a journey it has been to follow them through their exploits as they made history to be the first ever African bobsled team. I do believe that the best is yet to come for them, and we continue to follow their journey. We do look forward to their next moves. But until then, I'm Ms. Mumbai from Lagos. Have a wonderful day.